this is the new DNT Hydra rangefinder. It's the 650R 640 unit with integrated rangefinder. I just got this in today. DNT was gracious enough to reach out to us to see if Carolina Night Shift wanted to give this thing a try, and we were beyond happy to do so. I've already taken the saran wrap off of it. I had to see it as soon as I got it. In the box did come the battery charger and 18650. So let's check the unit out. I really hadn't gone over it. I literally opened the box, quickly looked at it, and was like, well, let's just hang on to that until we get into the actual video. So it's got the DNT case. It's like in the other Hydra. I have run the 384 before, so that's the thing I have to reference on this. They always have this nice case, the DNT stuff does. This is their mount. Comes with Allen. I'm sorry, Torx head. Hardware. And then the mount. And then here's the unit itself. What else we got here? Charging cable. Eye cup. Ooh, that one screws on. That's nice. I don't remember if the Hydra I used a year or two ago does that. Lens cloth. And owner's manual, which I never read. Like I've said in my other videos, I should be able to figure these out without reading a ton of paperwork. And that's how I feel like scopes should be done. It shouldn't take 3 days worth of reading to run a thermal scope. It should be somewhat intuitive. So it looks like the regular Hydra body. Button layout appears to be the same. Charging port on the side. Battery compartment. Let's see. Got a ton of 18650 flat tops. So we'll go ahead and put one in there so I can charge up the other ones later. Head tether on it. That was easy. I guess that's the rangefinder button. And there's the rangefinder itself. And then, oh yeah, that's nice. I like the screw ends. I've seen several companies start doing that now. Instead of just having them wrap around the focus, they've actually started screwing them in. I know my DBH was done that way. Obviously the DNTs are done that way. I think that's great because I know in the past losing eye cups pretty easy to do. And then objective. Not keen on that. I feel like that was just too easy to. I'd be willing to bet this is gonna get knocked off or this is over with. And it looks like it's okay. It just pops on and off. Alright, that's one thing I'm not a huge fan of as of right now. But overall, the unit's small. I know it's set up to be a clip-on or scanner. Obviously, it can be a scope too. I ran the Hydra 384 as a scanner and a clip-on, and it worked out great. So I'm excited to try the 640 unit. I will have to get this lined up on my AR, and we will see how well this works. But we're going hunting tonight, so I'm gonna run this as a scanner. That's exactly what's going to happen tonight. So let's go ahead and power this thing on and see what it does. I do want to mention they are 18650 flat tops, which I like because I keep a whole assortment of them. This is great to buy, by the way. If you don't have one, get one. So let's check this thing out.
There he is. You see him? When he stops, we drill him. Wesley, don't move. Oh shit, I don't. Shoot him. Shoot him, shoot him. Okay. That's a dog, yep. He's under 200. Y'all ready? 3. Hold on. Yeah.
3, 2, hold on. 3, 2.
Shoot him in the head whenever y'all ready. If he'll come in some more, we'll take him. Yeah, we'll take him. You ready? You good? 3. Oh. If he stops again. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's shift back a little bit in case we got through. Do you want to try and get him to stop? I'll let him work in.
Michael, are you ready? Are you ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Make sure you like, subscribe. That's what keeps this channel going. I want to acknowledge that DNT reached out to us, asked us if we would like to give the DNT a try, and Carolina Night Shift did. Thomas was able to run this unit. I'm running various other units, and so is Steven. So he ran this one on the 22 ARC and got some time behind it. I'm normally the one in front of the camera, so I guess I get to do the review portion. But obviously, we all kind of got our chance to get our eye in the scope. With that being said, I did take this off the 22 arc, and that'll give us a chance to try DNT's QDM mount. This is their quick release style mount that you can fix to the bottom of the scope, or you can fix it to the gun and swap it around. Makes it easier to take off versus the fixed mount. So, the pros. Unit small, it is a 3-in-1. It can be used as a clip-on. I have not used this particular one as a clip-on, but I did use a previous Hydra 384 a while back as a clip-on. That information is on the channel too. It appears to function the same, so there's really no update there that I've seen. This mainly got used as a dedicated thermal. Now, the some things I like, you know, the eye cup is a screw-on. That is nice. The focus for the screen is fairly large, pretty tight, so do like that. And then obviously the focus for the image is up front. It is a rubberized coating. That's been pretty nice. It is a little bit smaller than the one on this end. I will point out as I kind of go over this thing, some things I kind of like, didn't like. The rangefinder is on the side. I like internal rangefinders personally. And the reason behind it is not a deal breaker, but it's just something I noticed when you go to focus, if your rangefinder is running, you're going to interfere with your rangefinder. So just something to keep in mind. If you're running a unit like this and you go to kind of focus as something's happening and you lose your rangefinder, your hand's in front of it. I noticed that pretty quick. The rangefinder button is on the side. You can turn the rangefinder on. The rangefinder was accurate. I didn't have any issues with it. I never really had a second guess my ranges. And it does have an internal ballistic calculator. And I shot, I think it was 300 or 400 yards with this, with the 22 arc, no issues at all. You know, you range it, you lock it. It gives you the, on the main picture, it'll give you your point of aim. And then if you notice in the picture-in-picture, it actually moves your reticle. So instead of giving you a point of aim in the picture-in-picture, it actually moves it to where it needs to be. So that's pretty nice. So it's quick. I will give DNT credit there. The unit is very light. I can see how this could be used as a scanner. The buttons, I've never been a huge fan of how DNT does their layout, only because when I wear gloves or it's cold, I'm not extremely familiar. I am familiar with it, but I don't have it memorized of how this menu system works. So going from scope to scope, you might see something in some of the footage where I'm kind of jumping around. It's because I don't have enough hours in this to memorize where all the buttons are if I hit the first or second or third. They're obviously easy to figure out, but I'm so used to like my DBH and bigger buttons, and they're farther apart. So it's not a deal breaker. It's just something I kind of want to notice, but I think all the Hydras are done like that. Cons, I don't really have a lot. I will say that I think in higher humidity, this one does not perform as well as other units in its price range. That isn't a direct knock on DNT, but you're paying for a lot of features. I mean, you have a unit that is a clip-on. It is also a dedicated thermal for a scope. It's a scanner, rangefinder, ballistic calculator. I mean, it's definitely a feature-packed unit. So I think with that, to keep it in the price, I would assume DNT had to kind of give a little bit here and a little bit there in other areas. So we did compare this directly to another scope that was in its price range. It didn't have all the features the DNT has, but it has some of them. And we did notice that on high humidity nights, that other scope did edge out the DNT just a little bit. The only other kind of thing I want to put up here is a gripe, I will say, is the Wi-Fi speed on this is slow. Like, it reminds me of my old ST6 I had. It kind of drives me crazy, like why the Wi-Fi speed's so slow on some of these scopes nowadays. But I mean, it's not a make it or break it, but I'm all constantly downloading footage. You know, everything I run, I have to download footage for, you know, YouTube videos that you guys watch and any other social media. So that was something I noticed relatively quickly. The ST6 I used to run for Rick's, their Wi-Fi module was painstaking. This one is not that slow, but it is definitely slower than other things I ran. So use that information. I want to keep my reviews just as honest as I can. You know, no thermal company pays me, but
we're in Eastern North Carolina, so it gets a little, it's high humid here, and that's what's tough on these thermal sensors. And I think that's what kind of gives us an idea of what's really going on. Overall, I think it's a great, like, this is one of those units that if you need a buddy gun, if you just really need another scanner that you can pop on and off a system and run it, I think this is a good one for that. Due to its small size, obviously when you take the Picatinny rail off, it gets smaller and it's a little more, handheld style, which is nice. It's pretty robust. We did run it in some rain, had no issues there as far as water intrusion. The battery compartment on the side is sealed, so no issues there. Changing the battery out, simple. I guess that's my first impressions after us running it for a while. We'll probably continue running this unit and really kind of beat on it a little bit more and see what it's really made out of. The ballistic program that DNT offers is really nice. I want to put that in there too. It's easy to figure out. Understand when you do ballistic calculators, you got to get your stuff right. Guys that just pull, velocity off of a box, understand that's typically for a bolt gun that's 24-inch barrel. I'm running a 22-inch gas gun. Kind of give you an example on the 22 arc, just for specifics of why you need to check your data for ballistic calculator, and then go behind it and check the ballistic calculator, on steel or paper. Going back to that, I was running Hornady EOD VTs. I think they're 62 grain. Box says 3,300 feet per second. I averaged about 3150 is what I believe that gun was running them at. That's with an 8-inch can, 22-inch barrel gas gun. So I was losing about 150 feet per second based on the box. If I would have put 3,300 in there and ran that, I'm pretty sure that my elevation would have been incorrect. So their ballistic calculator software links all that stuff up. You can see all that. Just make sure you put the inputs in right. So what I'm getting at is, don't just throw the numbers in there and expect this to do the work. Crap in, crap out. Like, subscribe. That's how you get this information out there. And if there's anything specific you guys are looking for on these reviews, let me know. Obviously, I don't dig into the spec sheets and tell you about the sensor size and the millikelvins of the sensors. Like, you can read that. I'm trying to give you real world experience. We put these on guns, we sight them in, and we hunt 2 to 3 times a week. So that, to me, in my opinion, means more to the users than it does just listing off a data sheet and assuming you know the difference between this millikelvin sensor and then another millikelvin sensor, not understanding that software also plays a big part of this. Software plays a huge part of how these scopes work. I have seen that myself, where an update actually gave a better image resolution. So take it for what it's worth. Like I said, let me know what you guys think. We're going to keep these as honest as we can. I'm going to keep the footage coming.